Hello, and thank you so much for joining us on You and the Law. Every week we bring you legal practitioners, and together we weigh in societal matters, understand of the law. This is where you get to know more about the law in much simpler topics. My name is Miriam Usman. I will be introducing our guest as well as our topic of conversation after this break. Please stay with us.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies first.
I want the equipment I need to do my job.
I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happens with good laws,
Proper funding.
Training.
And cooperation.
if it happens,
If it happens.
If it happens.
Thank you for staying tuned. If it happened. Well, today we are taking a close look at customs seizure power and traders' rights. A few weeks ago, custom was a topic in the mouth of some people in Abeokuta. This is because some custom officials, they invaded a particular warehouse, and certain goods were seized from these traders. Now, a lot of people might want to ask, why would custom do things like that? Well, it's not new to us that custom have certain powers to seize some goods, especially when they have been identified as illegal or do not have these duties, certain duties paid on these commodities as expected. But what are those powers that custom has, and what are also the rights of traders when it comes to a conversation like this? You must have heard about it, and that's why on the program today we have Barrister Isaac Izunya to take us through on this topic. But as we are discussing more, you have the opportunity to talk to us and send us messages via the number that will be displayed shortly on the screen. When you call, please try as much as you can to turn down the volume of your TV set. Thank you so much, Barrister, for joining us today.
Thank you.
You know, it's been a very long time we had you on the program. We're looking at customs seizure, their powers and traders' rights. And I want you to start the conversation today by telling us what are those powers custom has as a law enforcement agency, and to what extent does this power cover?
Okay. Custom as a law enforcement agency, custom is generating revenue for federal government, like you know. So the federal government to do whatever it can do in order to promote the local traders, in order to promote trade activities, and to generate revenue for the federal government. That's what custom was established. And in carrying out these activities, a lot of other goods that attempts to destroy the economy and our own local traders comes in. So the function of custom is to stop those goods from coming in. Goods that are defective, goods that are not good for human consumption. Because of some persons that want to make money, they find a way to bring these goods into the country, and the custom is after them in order to stop such goods from coming in. Now, some persons want to deviate from paying duties, so because of that, they find other routes through which they bring goods that are ordinarily permissible to enter into the country, but the routes through which those goods comes are not approved by customs. That is smuggling. So in doing that, they want to evade the payment of duties. And that's why custom is almost everywhere in the society to discover that those goods that came in, let us see how we can identify those goods and change one or two things about them so that we can either make them to go and pay duties, or we seize those goods so that it prevents the persons that are involved in it from doing it, or it deter others from thinking about bringing in such goods into the country. So that's the main function of custom.
I don't know if you heard of this story a few weeks ago where this whole thing came up, and the goods in particular was rice. I'm beginning to imagine how is it possible for an individual to know that a particular commodity is contraband, some sort of by the custom agencies. You know, this was a case of traders going to buy these goods. We're not sure where they bought them from, but custom got the news, got the information, and invaded where they kept those rice.
Now the thing is, during Buhari or so, President Buhari, there was this. The president has power to make regulations and policies regarding goods that should come in, goods that should not come in, goods that are banned, goods that are prohibited in Nigeria under the Custom Act, especially even the new one now. Recognize the powers of the president to dish out policies on goods that come in and the one that will not come in. Now, the president bound the coming in of rice, some class of rice. Now, the other rice that should come in, they have one route, just like I told you. The only route through which those rice can come in is through the seaports. So even if the same rice, for instance, we say cap rice, if cap rice is permitted, like it's permitted in Nigeria, if cap rice is permitted and you're bringing in cap rice by the route not permitted by the federal government, you are deviating already. Those goods will be termed as small goods because we come through the sea alone. Now, if we see you through the land, it means you are evading the payment of duty.
So how do you know, sir, this particular brand of rice or this particular rice you are getting did not come through the legal route?
Now, let me shock you. If I intercept trailer loads of rice coming in through Idiroko, I don't need a prophet to tell me that those goods were coming in from Cotonou. But if I now see goods in the seaports arena, I don't need a prophet to tell me that these goods were actually coming in through the sea.
So these are the things dealers of some of these commodities should look out for?
Yes, okay. But sometimes the buyers, the bulk buyers are aware that these goods are coming in through the other points already. So it's like an understanding between the buyer and the person that is bringing it in. That's why custom know that, okay, these are small goods, because you're supposed to come through the seaport when you're coming through the land. For instance, if you want to buy a car now, no matter how good the car is, you're supposed to bring the car through the seaport. If you bring the car through Cotonou, the same Lexus 350 through seaport, the same Lexus 350 through Cotonou is already a small good car. It's not passing through the routes that the federal government has approved.
If I'm getting you right, one of the things that distinguishes small good commodity to another...
Non-payment of duty.
Non-payment. Let's talk about these duties and how are they paid?
Now, when your goods are coming in, you allot customs of the goods that is coming in. Now, customs take some document from you and check those goods and assess it. Then you pay your duties. But the one that is coming in through the land border, formerly goods were allowed through the land borders. Vehicles and rice and they were allowed through the land borders. So as you're coming in, custom will check you, you pay your duties, you put in your rice into Nigeria. As you're coming in, custom will check you, put in your rice through Nigeria. But when they discovered that the smuggling activities was much, and I would say due to lack of manpower.
Because I'm going to ask, what would make anybody, any buyer to want to smuggle these things by cutting the legal process?
Two things. One, prohibited goods makes these buyers or the sellers make more money from prohibited goods. Prohibited goods are goods that ordinarily not permitted in Nigeria, but Nigerians want to use it. That's another part of the government that I don't want to discuss about. Nigeria are in need of these goods. Now, you have prohibited it from coming in because you want to promote local farmers that you have not empowered to produce same goods for the satisfaction and usage of all Nigerians. So if such goods by any means find itself into the country, people will buy it.
People will rush it.
People will rush it because you have not made any provision. Now we're talking of rice, this one, that one, and you have not made proper provision. They have not empowered our farmers. You have not provided security for them to go to farm. You have not given them equipment. You have not lessened things for them to farm and produce enough food that Nigerians need. And people are now bringing food through the borders, and Nigerians are hungry. You say they should not buy it. So that's the problem we're having. The government is not doing its own part in order to encourage the local farmers and empower them. Now, you don't want goods that the people consume to come into the country because you term it as prohibited goods or goods that duties are not paid upon. So the people are hungry, so they will look for any other way.
By the law, these goods that are confiscated by custom,
yes.
What happens to them?
Okay, now what happens is one good custom sees a particular goods. They find out whether those goods have duties or no duties. Now the next thing is, when it has no duties, they can arrest the person. They can arrest the person and prosecute the person with the goods. Or when they did not see anybody to arrest, the goods will be there for a particular period of time, and it will be timed like an abandoned goods.
Because
like
I have heard stories where this rice are sold in cheaper prices.
Let me tell you what happened. Now, when that is done, the customer will now have to go compile everything together, approach the Federal High Court, and tell the court that, look, this person is not coming forth for his vehicle, this person is not coming forth for his right, this person is not coming forth for so and so goods. Now we want to condemn those goods. Condemnation means we want to remove totally the rights of the owner of the goods through the court order to enable us auction them out. That's just the simple meaning of condemnation in court, in Federal High Court. Now I did a case where my own client was involved in, a particular vehicle was involved, custom seized it, custom condemned it. I approached the Federal High Court and look, this is not a condemnable vehicle, see this circumstance, and they can't grant it. We went to Court of Appeal, and Court of Appeal still granted the vehicle, that custom should release the vehicle. That's because I came forth. If I hadn't come forward and the goods were there, it
will be auctioned.
It will be auctioned for Nigeria to make money. It will be bad if the goods is abandoned and it get destroyed, and the owner is not making money, Nigeria is not making money. That's why it has to be condemned, auctioned, and the money paid to the Federation account. So some of those rights were actually condemned, and some of them will now be given out to like IDPs. A lot of it are given out to IDPs. If we discover that the time rice was so scarce and customs said we want to sell the one in our warehouse at a cheaper price, approved by the federal government. No custom formation, no custom command, no custom offices can on their own start auctioning rice. No.
But you know, we know this because we are aware of the law.
Yes.
You are aware of the law, you know, and it's easy to talk about this. How about the local, the average Nigerian who is not well schooled of what the law says? How can such people, you know, understand this thing and get the law to stand by it?
That's on the part of failure of the custom from enlightening the government. The custom do not have any strong media activities where they educate the public on what is happening to the goods that they seize and processes of seizure and goods that are prohibited and goods that are dutable. A common Nigerian is not aware. In fact, there was a man that was arrested one day and he said, my son, I'm not aware that talking is a bad thing. No. I'm not aware. A man, an old man, so what will you do? Will you now say, okay, I will kill you by fire, by force? Such person even deserves sympathy. So cases like that, custom needs to do a strong media activities in order to educate poor Nigerians. Do it through the market women, do it through the Okada riders, do it through the park, do it through the media, do it through every avenue that you can so that people will be aware.
Because I feel like even sometimes some of these officials are guilty of misusing the power they have as an agency. Yes. And for those Nigerians who are not aware of the law, fall victims of this.
Yes, yes, yes. The problem is, first, no Nigerian trusts government formation. That you should know. So the moment goods are seized, there is this distrust that it can never follow the normal process of benefiting the citizenry. That's the thought of every Nigerian first. So if a Nigerian is involved in any custom activities because of lack of his knowledge and lack of right or understanding of custom. If the police arrest you now, you know almost to the A to Z of your right in respect to the police because it's everyday thing you see on the street. But you don't see that of custom. So failure of custom to do that aggressive media activities to educate Nigerians is almost like ambushing Nigerians into falling victim of something, and they will not tell you that this is the law. Which law? The law that is made and closed, that we are not even close to being aware of. That's like ambushing the citizenry, and that's what we're facing.
Talking about ambush, ambush is one thing that over the years, some of these people that have, you know, default of this particular offense have experienced. We've seen times where custom raid a particular place with force. You know, sometimes they pack everybody, the goods, the owner, and everything. Let's look at what the law stipulates as the due process of enforcement of the powers of custom officers.
Now, under the new SEMA 2023, it states that before you can enter somebody's premises, but before you enter the premises, you need a permission from the Controller General of Custom or somebody authorized by Controller General to give you a permission to enter into a premises. But it still says that if you're sure, you have a reasonable belief that some forfeitable items, some seizable items are in that particular place. And you know that if you're going to ask for that permission, those items could either be taken away, be destroyed, or something might happen to them that you may not see it again. And you are very sure you can burst into the apartment and see those goods and seize them and arrest whoever that is there. But the problem is, if you now burst into the apartment
and you don't find
any of those things, I'll be very glad to be the lawyer of the person to come and sue custom for such activity. But trust me, when you sue custom will find a way to bring the person out and punish the person appropriately. So you are not sure. There was no reasonable surveillance done before you busted into that apartment. So because of that, they are careful. They'll have to do their surveillance. Remember, surveillance is about gathering information. And don't be surprised, the people that gather information are not custom officers. They are fellow Nigerians that assist government formations in order to
aid their work.
To get their work, to make their work easy. That's the good Nigerians that assist in those kind of activities. So without those persons, custom is not a spirit. But when they find out that, okay, we have reasonable surveillance information that this is what is happening here, they will bust in. And if they find out that this is what you're doing, they will arrest the person.
Are there cases where some of these persons do not know that these goods are illegal? And then they buy them in large quantity. Money have been spent. And now these goods have been confiscated. What can such person do? Yes, you
tell me a case of a person who just, for instance, came into buying of rice for the first time.
Yes.
And is not aware of any of those activities. The defense for that person is to state that I am not aware that those goods were smuggled. I am not aware that duties were not paid on those. It is stated very clearly. I think in section 234 of the new SEMA Act, Custom and Allied Matters Act, it stated very clearly that your defense is that you're not aware that those goods were smuggled, you're not aware that duties were not paid on those goods. So by that,
if you're not aware, does it mean that the arrest could be?
You'll be scot-free from such arrest. If not, you'll be prosecuted. So that's your defense on the part of the persons. There are a lot of persons that are into custom, there are a lot of persons that are arrested for custom offenses that are taken to federal court and they're in prison today. But people don't know that custom things are a bit of offense. People don't know. For instance, somebody say turkey, is it an offense? Okrika that I carry about, is it an offense? But you don't know because you're not aware.
How is turkey an offense?
It's an offense because if you allow turkey to come in, how will you now promote Obasanjo farm from producing turkey and chicken for us to eat?
Really?
Yes, so that means we'll buy more from them and we'll destroy our local manufacturers and local farmers. So that's why custom do not allow turkey to come in. That I told you the first time, is meant to promote local traders. If you allow turkey to come in large quantity into Nigeria, you have destroyed our local farmers. Nobody will patronize them anymore. But because if we don't see much of it littered everywhere, we'll patronize our local farmers. So they make it a bit, somehow a bit scarce to say. But if our local farmers go into it, then you find it in abundance. If there are turkeys coming in from abroad, which we don't know what they use in injecting it for it to become fat and the rest, and they dump it in Nigeria and we are eating it, you will not go to Obasanjo to buy fresh turkey. Because you feel, oh, there's turkey everywhere. Why is your own more expensive? Why are you being too expensive when I can buy it for this and that? That's the problem.
So on the long run, this is also to protect Nigerians.
Of course. It's to protect Nigerians from bad goods. For instance, there are countries that allow such evil, bad goods to enter into the country, and it destroys the economy, it destroys the health of the people, it diminishes the finance, it reduces Naira to nothing. If you allow every Tom, Dick and Harry goods to come into the country, Nigeria becomes a dumping ground for any kinds of goods to come in. And custom is the only person that assists us to restrict the importation and exportation of some of those goods. And if you remove custom today, we'll become a dumping ground and everything will flow in Nigeria. And we'll have problem with our health, with our economy, our money will go. Even though the money is down already, but it will go down the more. Our value exchange will reduce.
Say, for instance, one Chinedu is in one corner watching this program right now. No offense to Chinedu or any business person, you know, wanting to deal with import and exporting of goods. You made mention about an export item. Yes, so I want you to also talk more about it.
If you want to export anything, whatever you want to export must meet the exporting qualities.
Okay.
And where you're exporting it to, you have to pass through custom before it goes out. You pay your export fees before whatever you're exporting goes outside the country. So the essence is, if we allow you to export something that is bad, and that thing gets to another man's country, and someone eats it, and the thing is hurting or destroy the health of the person, where do you think it will bounce back to? Nigeria government. Oh, Nigeria is bad. Nigeria is stupid. Nigeria manufacture evil things. So it must meet a reasonable standard before that thing leaves the shores of Nigeria. So that whenever it gets to and it's tested and it's eaten by anybody, the person will see, oh, this is a very good product. From Nigeria, wow, Nigeria is great. Nigeria is good. But if we allow such things to go out like that, it will destroy our nation, it will destroy our name. So that's why there's a custom formation. Before you export, you must see them. Before you bring in, you must see them.
All right, thank you so much. Time is really not by our side. We would have talked more on this particular topic, customs, seizure powers and traders' rights. We trust that you have enjoyed every bit of it. Thank you so much, Barrister, for coming on the program today. Do the right thing. The law has this process is stated out, and your duty is to know what the law says. But of course, you can only know this, or one of the ways you can know this is by watching You and the Law. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week, God's willing. Bye for now.